In this video we've got 4 different relations. We want to decide whether the relation is a function or not, and then we also want to come up with the domain and range for each relation. So if you take a look at relation number 1, we've got 4 different ordered pairs, and we want to decide, is it a function or is it not a function? Well, take a look at this right down here first. F of x equals 2x plus 1. Well, say if we evaluated this for 3. So if it was f of 3, that means that we're going to plug in a 3 for this x. So we're going to do 2 times 3 plus 1. So if we simplify that, 2 times 3 is 6, and then we've still got plus 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. So whenever you plug in a 3 for the x, we're always going to get a 7. So if we plug in a 3, there's no way we're going to get like a 6 or an 8 or a 10. No other number but 7. So with that in mind, if we plug in a 3 here, we're going to get a 6. If we plug in a 4, if this was a function, we'd get a 2. If we plugged in a negative 6, we'd get a 7. If we plug in a 3, we're going to get a negative 9. Whoa, wait. That's a little different from this one now. We said if we plug in a 3, we're going to get a 6. But over here, plugging in a 3, we'd get a negative 9. See, that can't happen. So this is not going to be a function. So basically, if an x value repeats itself, normally it's not going to be a function. So let's come up with the domain and range as well. So we'll just say, we'll do D for domain. And domain is all the input values. So that's going to be the x's. And then y is the output values, which goes along with the range. So the input would be 3, 4, negative 6, and 3. Let's just write those from least to greatest. So we'll start with negative 6, then we've got 3, and then we've got 4. You don't have to write the 3 twice. If it repeats itself, just write it one time. Then our range, from smallest to greatest, we've got negative 9 is the lowest. Then we've got a 2, then a 6, and then a 7. So there's our range. If you look at relation number 2, we check our x values. Well, we got negative 6, which gives us 5, a 0 that gives us 11, a 3 that gives us 5. The x's don't repeat, and we have unique y values, so that's going to be a function. So I'll write that in blue. This is a function. And then we want to come up with the domain, which is just our x values. So that's going to be the smallest is negative 2. Then we got 0, and then we've got 3. Our range will be all the y values, so we've got a 5, and then 11. 5 repeats itself, and that's okay if it repeats itself. The x values have to have a unique y value, so if we plug in a negative 2, we get a 5. If we plug in a 3, we also get a 5, and that's completely okay. So let's move on, do a couple more. We want to do number 3. So we've got a 2, which gives us 4, negative 3 that gives us 2, negative 6 that gives us 7, and a negative 8 that gives us 2. X's don't repeat itself, so that's going to be a function. And then we could come up with our domain, which are x values. We've got let's see, our lowest is going to be negative 8, then negative 6, negative 3, and 2. And then our range is all the y values. Let's see, we've got a 2, so that repeats itself. We only write it once. And then a 4, and then a 7. And then our last one down here, we've got a 1, and since that repeats itself, it's not going to be a function, right? Because if we plug in a 1, well, do we get a 5 or do we get a 6 for our output? So that's not going to work out. So we could say not a function, not a function. Okay, we could still get a domain and range though. So our domain is going to be 1, and then, whoops, I should have did. This would be negative 7, and then this will be a 1. And then our range will be negative 12 is our lowest. Then we've got 5, and then we've got a 6. So that's that. Just a quick review. If you're checking a relation, so a list of like ordered pairs, just figure out whether or not the x values repeat itself. If they don't repeat themselves, then chances are it's not a function. Or I'm sorry, take that back. If they do repeat themselves, they're not a function. If they don't repeat itself, chances are they are a function then.